My estranged brother cut ties with our family. Now he's demanding half of the inheritance with one update from the OP. Hey everyone, let me know if I'm in the wrong here because honestly, I'm so torn. This has been eating away at me for months, and I need some perspective. So, a little background. I'm Sarah, 28F, and my younger brother is Alex, 26M. We were raised in a pretty close-knit family. Or at least, that's what I thought. Things took a wild turn when Alex turned 18. One night, he got into a massive fight with our dad. It was ugly. I still don't even fully understand what set it off, but Alex stormed out and declared he was done with all of us. He didn't just leave the house, he cut us off completely. No calls, no texts, nothing. We tried to reach out. My parents were heartbroken. Dad even swallowed his pride and wrote him this long letter, apologizing if he'd ever made Alex feel stifled or unsupported. But Alex didn't respond. Even when Mom got really sick a couple of years ago, he didn't show up. I kept texting him, hoping he'd at least come to see her in the hospital. Nope. Silence. It was like he decided we didn't exist anymore. Fast forward to last year, Mom and Dad passed away in a car accident. It was sudden, tragic, and honestly, I'm still processing it. Losing them was one of the hardest things I've ever been through. And then came the will. I wasn't expecting much. My parents weren't super wealthy, but they were responsible with money and left behind a modest estate. What shocked me was that they left everything to me. Every last cent. There was even a clause in the will specifically stating that Alex wouldn't receive anything because he had chosen to separate himself from the family. It crushed me. I know they were hurt, but seeing it written down like that made it so final. Still, I respected their wishes. I figured Alex had made his choices, and they had made theirs. End of story, right? Wrong. A few months later, Alex came back into the picture. Out of nowhere, he showed up at my apartment, all smiles and acting like the past 8 years hadn't happened. He was like, "Hey sis, long time no see. Let's catch up." I'll admit, part of me was happy to see him. I missed him, you know? For a second, I thought maybe he regretted everything and wanted to reconnect. Then he brought up the inheritance. At first, it was casual. He asked, "So what happened with Mom and Dad's stuff?" I told him about the will, and his whole demeanor changed. He was shocked, like genuinely blindsided. He said it was unbelievable that they'd leave him out and started going on about how unfair it was. He said he was their son, too, and he deserved half, no matter what had happened in the past. I told him the truth. Our parents made their decision, and I wasn't going to go against their wishes. That's when things got heated. He accused me of being greedy, said I was profiting off their deaths, and called me selfish for not sharing. He even brought up how he's been struggling financially and how this money could change his life. I told him, flat out, that if he really cared about family, he wouldn't have waited until there was money involved to come back. That set him off. He stormed out, calling me all kinds of names and saying I was punishing him for his past mistakes. Now, he's rallying the troops. He's told extended family members his version of events, how I'm hoarding the inheritance and refusing to help my own brother. Some of them are on his side, saying I should be the bigger person and share because that's what family does. Others have told me to stand my ground and not let him guilt trip me. Here's where I'm stuck. Part of me feels guilty. Like, maybe I'm being too harsh. He's my brother and I know he's struggling, but at the same time, he made his choices. He left us. He ignored us when we needed him most. And now, when there's money on the table, he suddenly wants to play happy family? It feels manipulative. Or am I just respecting my parents' wishes? I honestly don't know anymore. Let me know what you think because I could really use some advice. Update. I found out the real reason my brother came back. Hey everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you for all the support and advice on my original post. I've read through every comment, and it really helped me feel less alone in this mess. But buckle up, because things took a turn I never saw coming. After my brother Alex stormed out and started telling everyone I was the worst sibling in history, I decided to take a step back. I stopped responding to his texts and calls, which were getting more aggressive by the day. Honestly, I was exhausted. I thought the drama might settle if I just let him vent and ignored it for a while. Then, About 2 weeks ago, I got a call from one of my parents' old friends, Miss Evelyn. She was basically like an honorary aunt to us growing up and always super close with my mom. She told me she'd been hearing some of the rumors Alex was spreading and wanted to check in. I vented to her about everything: the inheritance, his sudden reappearance, the guilt trips. When I finished, there was this long pause on the phone, and then she said, "Sarah, there's something you need to know." Apparently, a few months before my parents passed, Alex reached out to Miss Evelyn. Out of the blue. She said he was asking a lot of questions about our parents' finances. If they were doing well, if they had a will, stuff like that. At the time, she didn't think much of it. She figured maybe he was finally feeling remorseful and wanted to reconnect. But now, in hindsight, she realizes it wasn't so innocent. I was stunned. Why would he care about their finances after cutting us off for so long? That's when Miss Evelyn dropped the bombshell. Alex is in serious debt. Like, serious. She heard from a mutual acquaintance that he'd been involved in some sketchy business deals and had racked up tens of thousands in unpaid loans. Apparently, he's been dodging debt collectors for months. Hearing this made everything click. His sudden reappearance wasn't about family. It wasn't about making amends. It was about money. I wanted to confirm it for myself, so I did something I never thought I'd do. I called one of his old friends. We hadn't spoken in years, but I figured it was worth a shot. After some awkward small talk, I asked point blank if Alex was in trouble. The friend hesitated, but eventually admitted that Alex had borrowed money from just about everyone he knows, including them. They said he's burned so many bridges that no one trusts him anymore, and they warned me to be careful. At this point, I was furious. All that guilt he'd tried to pile on me, all those accusations of being selfish, it was all a ploy to fix his mess. But the worst part? I found out that Alex didn't just come back to guilt me into sharing the inheritance. He's been contesting the will. Yep. He's hired a lawyer and is trying to argue that the will is invalid. He's claiming our parents were mentally unfit when they wrote it, which is an outright lie. My parents were sharp as ever, even in their final days. They knew exactly what they were doing. But now I'm stuck in this legal battle, and it's draining, not just financially, but emotionally. I thought about giving in, just to make it all stop. But then I remembered something my dad used to say: stand up for what's right, even when it's hard. My parents made their wishes clear, and I'm not going to let Alex twist their memory for his own gain. Here's where things get even crazier, though. A few days ago, I got a letter in the mail. It was from Alex's lawyer, but it wasn't just about the inheritance. Buried in the legal jargon was a line about how Alex had requested an advance on his inheritance before our parents died. That's right, he tried to get money out of them while they were still alive. I can't even begin to describe how that made me feel. It's like every time I think I've hit the bottom of this rabbit hole, it goes deeper. I'm hurt, angry, and honestly, a little numb. How could someone who shares the same blood as me be this calculating? At this point, I've decided to fight him, not just for the money, but for my parents' legacy. They deserved better than this. I've already met with a lawyer, and they're confident we can win. It's going to be a long road, but I'm ready. I don't know what's going to happen with Alex after all this. Maybe he'll back off, or maybe he'll double down. Either way, I'm done feeling guilty for standing my ground. I'll keep you all updated as this unfolds, but for now, wish me luck. And Alex, if you're reading this, I hope it was worth it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories like this one.